Well, here we are with a 2023 Tundra. This belongs to Sage, who's with me, and we're going to do a walk around of this truck because what we did is we just installed this tour top back here. So let me just show you that. So he came down to a shop here in Southern California to get that installed because I work with Rugged Bound, and honestly, this was my first install. So Sage and I installed this thing. Super easy. There's a video on how to do it, and if you're interested in getting one, let me know. But when he pulled in with this truck, I was like, this ain't no normal Tundra. This thing is built. So when we finished installing it, I said, you know what? I think there's a lot of people out there looking into Tundras that would really want to watch this video because this has got adaptive suspension. It can go off grid for weeks at a time with its solar system, which panels that Sage will tell us all about. But just a beautiful truck. The suspension alone is insane, and he's definitely got it built up nice. So with no more further ado, here is Sage, the owner of this rig. And let's walk around it and walk and talk, a 360. Yeah. So you just got this recently, right? And
yeah, so I bought this back in March, I believe. So it's a 2023. It was a stock Platinum when I got it. So the reason I went with the Platinum rather than like the TRD off-road, I knew I was going to switch out the suspension, knew I was going to change out the tires. So I asked myself, you know, how do I get the creature comforts that Toyota offers while still being able to build this in my view. So I went with the Platinum, and then it was off to the races from there.
So obviously there's the TRD and all, but you alluded to me earlier, the Platinum enabled you to do what you wanted to do it, right? Because sometimes you're taking out perfectly good parts to put in even better parts. Yeah. So why not start, well, Platinum, you get the automatic boards on the side, you get the automatic step in the back, but you did some stuff. I guess let's talk about the major upgrade.
Yeah, so the big bad boy here is the Icon Stage 12 CDEV adaptive suspension. So it is similar to the Stage 9 from the Icon series. It's a 2.5 with remote reservoirs, but it has CDEV technology. So essentially there's a brain that sits under the hood, and it'll measure, you know, G-force, you know, how you're driving, and it'll adapt that suspension as you go. So you never have to hop out of the truck, mess with knobs. It goes on the fly.
You know, when you told me Stage 12, I have a Stage 3 on a 80 series. Not that one, but like that one over there. I'm about to put a Stage 6 on a 200 series. I'm like, Stage 12, what? So it has to do with the electronics. And why not pop the hood and show us where that's at? So that's so cool because, like you say, I have to, in my 80 series, I have to jump out of the car and turn the dial. You know, you come off the trail, you can stiffen it up if you soften it up for some of the whoops.
Yeah. So if you look right here, so this is essentially the brain that controls that entire suspension. So, you know, it's going to be kind of
this goes through the frame and the body to the back and to the front and hooks up to your...
It hooks up to each individual shaft.
Yeah, which I think you can see here. All right. That hooks up to the shock, and it's almost like milliseconds instantaneously figuring out if you're cornering, and you can make adjustments on your phone. Yeah. Maybe while we're doing this, you can pull that up on your phone and show us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then this is your solar panel, right?
Yep, so this is a solar charge controller. So essentially what that does is it takes the charge from my solar panel, and it works in unison with this smart battery sense thing that you see on top of the battery. So that's consistently telling the solar charge controller what the status of my battery is, where I'm at, and it'll power the battery based on the available solar for what I need.
Nice.
And I've been able to keep this truck off grid for days at a time, running my fridge freezer.
Without a dual battery.
Without a dual battery. And that was the big thing, is because people, you know, they look at dual batteries, they look at, you know, these new smart solar controllers, whether it be Bluetti or Goal Zero. And people are spending thousands of dollars to do this. Whereas this is a very simple, you know, $400, $500 mod, and you're getting your best bang for your buck, because most of us...
$500, which means this and the panel?
So the panel, the wiring, this, all of it out the door, $500.
What?
And again, you know, I try to go off Black Friday sales, whatever I can do to save some change. But it's much cheaper than doing your typical dual battery setup.
I have a Bluetti, and I think they're 200 watt panel. It's like about $2 per watt, so it's $399, and you're for almost for for $500 you've got the 200 permanent panel and all the connections.
And don't quote me, I think that 200 watt panel by itself was about $250. The solar charge controller was about $130, and then all the miscellaneous wiring to connect all of that.
That's brilliant. Well, as we talk, maybe we'll put some links down below, to help people if they're into searching that. So we've got an incredible suspension system. You've got the solar. You can be off grid. What would you say? And those can be part of it. What are your top 3 upgrades you've done thus far on
Honestly,
the Tundra?
I think it starts, at the body of the truck, right? So the suspension and the wheels and tires. Because for most of us, what we want to do is we want to be able to take this thing, and whether we go off-roading, whether we're camping with our family, we just want to have a capable truck. So the biggest thing is wheels and tires would be the first upgrade I would go for, and then suspension after that.
Wheels, tires, and suspension. I see you're got what? These are
these are the RRW RS2s.
37s?
They're wrapped in 37s, BF Goodrich KO2s. The cool thing about these wheels are they're monoforged. So the stock wheels that come on here are about 35 pounds a piece. This trimmed me down to 23 pounds a piece on the wheel alone.
Wow.
And then the tires are about 65 pounds a piece. So ultimately, I was able to shave 15 pounds a wheel off of the stock configuration while still getting the look, still getting the capability.
And going to 37s.
Yeah.
Now BFG 37s are kind of like a 36, right? Or like
It's about a 36 and a half.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not the true 37s. The tire companies are like that.
Yeah. With that being said, though, going 37s is pushing it on this truck. A lot of trimming is involved. You do need to do a body mount chop. So the 36 and a half, they look great on the truck. They really fill out the body, and then you get all the benefits of having those beefy rubber on the side.
And you waited a while for this, which we just installed that, like I said, video and description. Yep. The Tour Top runner-up in SEMA 2022, and you can see why. It's such a beefy look. Well, we both commented you want to put a rooftop tent. Yep. You have your water, and you want to be able to put both. So
Max Tracks on the side here.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Action Tracks?
Action Tracks. Yeah.
I kid because everybody knows I rep Action Tracks. Max Tracks are okay though for bridging, but yeah, the Max Tracks, we looked at some blue ones and some black with gold or yellow zinc metal, which looks sexy when we held it up here. But yeah, you have to configure that out and figure out what mounts you'll have to have the Action Tracks on the side, kind of like over there, right? On the 81 series.
Yeah, and to kind of speak to this Tour Top, so as we spoke earlier, I had a Diamondback cover on this previously, and I absolutely loved it. I have nothing bad to say, but I saw this drop at SEMA 2022, and because I have the solar panel up top with my Roam case, I was just I didn't have enough space for all the things that I needed. And I was like, this is just genius. I'm getting all these M8 tracks. I'm getting more storage capability. It's almost like having a roof rack on the bed of your truck.
Exactly.
Not to mention,
but fully sealed, right? And it's true because I do the roof racks. People can see that in my videos. Where this is, this would be an open space. Then you got your rail. But this is fully welded, fully enclosed. Came on a pallet. You got the obviously the. The rubber there, the gasket, there we go, the gasket, and it's just fully sealed. Such an awesome rugged looking, because it added a couple inches to the back, lifts it up a bit. It looks beefy.
And I believe it can hold up to 500 pounds with the stock struts. So being able to put all this weight on here, with my water port full, with my spare tire, I can still easily access everything in the bed of my truck, use my truck as it's meant to be, and I don't lose this space.
Yeah, and you said that when this lifts up, let's go to the water port side. When this lifts up, which we could lift it up right now, right? Let's do that. This is not attached, so we'll be careful. It's not attached because we just finished installing this.
So those gas struts are stronger.
Yeah.
To kind of lift that up.
Yep. So you have a kitchen table that goes end to end of the bed, and this will still fit with the gas struts.
Yep. So essentially what I have is, it's made by Diamondback. It's a drop-in little carrier that goes across the bed, and that's what I use to store all of my kitchen stuff. So my camp stove goes in there. my silverware, plates, whatever, pots, pans, whatever it may be, and all of that rests kind of from here and goes across.
Yeah, so you could still use that.
Yep.
And I opened it up here because I wanted to look at the ice coast. So I noticed you have an APL 55.
Yep.
I've got one too, and you dig it?
Yes, I think Iceco has really stepped up their game in the recent years on the construction. So if you look at this thing is built to last. You know, just the double wall construction here. You got the carriers here. Really smart nuance that they added, where you have attachment points here to tie down.
Yep.
And then a soft close lid. Like, how many times have you been hit in the head with a lid? And then this thing just soft close.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So open this up. You know, it's dual zone, but then you can go back to single zone simply by removing this piece. And now you have a single zone fridge.
Nice.
Or freezer, whatever you may be.
And price right too. It's like,
yep. I typically keep this in fridge freezer combination. You know, I have a 7-year-old boy, so throw some ice cream in the back of there and it makes camping trips none better.
you know, that's how you get the young ones involved in the camping trips. You got to have ice cream. Slide that back. So, and by the way, this tour top, we have it furthest away in the bed. As you move it closer, it handles more weight. So we have it to the furthest setting so that Sage can figure out as he puts stuff on there where he wants to slide that to. So that's a cool feature to make the tour top stronger and stronger to hold up more weight. Now the water port which slid when we lifted it up, because again, it's not secured yet, so it would sit about there. Just looks so cool. So like you said, with your kitchen, you can open it up, have your table in there, like maybe move it further out this way, and move your fridge out there when you're snacking, and then you have full water coming into the kitchen for...
Yeah, and I have some products from another company, and I'm not sponsored or anything, but this is a little plug. Sea Sucker. They're an RV company primarily, but essentially I have an entire kitchen setup that uses suction cups here and comes across the bed of my truck. So all I do when I get to camp, you know, I suction those on. It has a sink that goes into it, and then Waterport actually has a hands-free sink attachment. So I literally just attach the nozzle, put it right here, and I'm hands-free. I can prep. I come back over here, use my stove, whatever it may be. So it just makes it a very functional, you know, rig.
That's awesome. No, I mean, and like you said, you did a plug. I think with this rig, they should sponsor you. You need sponsors on this thing. I mean, wow. And then with the Platinum, your step is automatic.
Yep.
This step here is automatic. It's so cool.
And unfortunately, you know, if I do go to a steel bumper in the rear, which is in the plans, I may have to get rid of that, but I'm working with a shop right now to figure out a way to fab it and weld it back up, because it's just a creature comfort.
It is. I mean, I used it a couple times when we were mounting the tour top, and I was like, okay, do I jump down and break my knees and ankles or step on this? And it was nice. Let's lift this back up, and I'm sure people saw that the not all the way up. I mean, let's put this up like this. I'm sure people saw the back end and are wondering, oh, there goes the automatic. Your back end.
Yeah, so a lot of people aren't fans of this, but this is from the TRD Pro. It's the rear valance from that. I did it primarily because I wanted the marker lights for the rear, and I also wanted them for the fender flares. So what a lot of people don't know is the fender flares on the TRD Pro gives you about another inch and a quarter of space there. So I have a 0 offset wheel, so it provides me a little bit of wiggle room there as far as getting dirt just splashed up on the side of the truck.
So this is, you bought this not aftermarket but from
Toyota. It's a Toyota OEM part.
Okay, so you got it from the dealer and then put it on there. But for Platinum people to know, you can put some of the TRD stuff on if you like.
And if you look around the truck, you know, I have them on the sides here. So I have the TRD Pro, you know, kind of valance here with the lights in them. And then I also threw the TRD Heritage grill up front so I could have the functionality of the light bar there.
Let's check that. So that's cool though. Like, I mean, this is just part of the look, and you know, someone that gets a Platinum, if you want the creature comforts of the Platinum but you want some of the cool stuff that the TRD has, you could do that as well.
Yep, and here you have the Heritage grill.
So what, like this is like a black, like a black satin chrome?
Yep, so this comes standard on the Platinum. The grill here is the Heritage grill. You'll see these on the Pros. The sole reason that's on this truck right now is so I could get this light bar here.
Got it.
You cannot get it with any other grill. So I threw those in, and then it also comes equipped with 3 spots for marker lights here.
Got it.
So now it just completes the look. I have marker lights all around the truck. It really just ties together the aesthetics.
And it's OEM.
Yeah.
It's not that Amazon 3 marker lights that people are throwing on their Forerunners, or they put the 4, right? If it's a Forerunner.
Yeah.
And it's Raptor started, but Raptor started it. They have to do it once you go so wide.
Yep.
You have to have those markers. Usually found on the top of the vehicle, but I guess Raptor was the first company to get them approved here, and then everybody's running with that.
Yep. And I actually did this well before Toyota allowed a lot of stuff to come to market OEM. So these are actually from a company called Rave Off-Road here.
Okay.
Just plug and play.
Nice. Very cool. Maybe we'll have you fire her up so we can see them before we wrap up. Anything on the inside that we should look at that's other than normal?
On the inside, and bear with me because, like I said,
Yeah.
it's a dirty truck.
Surprise, we're looking at the inside.
So the cool thing that I liked about the Platinum is you get the full leather, like real leather with this really cool contrasted blue stitching.
That's cool.
So one thing that I wanted to do to tie this kind of truck together is right here, you see the center console piece. That comes stock silver. So I painted that blue. I really wanted to bring that together.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, so this color was already here with silver.
Yep.
You did this. So what, you had to remove that and paint it?
Yeah,
or?
so it pops right out.
Okay.
And just paint over that.
No joke. I thought that was OEM. That's professionally painted, or you painted?
I painted that.
That's a rattle can.
And then same thing here. These come silver, so I painted these black. I got to do the center piece.
Okay, so it comes like that.
Yep.
Which that was silver, but okay. I was going to ask you why the color outside of blue for your accent color, and now this makes sense.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. So I think that's what sets the Platinum, a different from the rest of them.
Yeah.
Is that blue contrast, right? With the TRD Pros, you always see the red interiors. Now with the 1794, you have that really nice brown interior. What sets the Platinum apart is that blue kind of sporty contrasting.
Yeah.
With like the leather all throughout.
You just took it a little step up and did the center that ties it all in, which makes sense.
Yeah. And then if we go to the other side, we have my aux beam controller for all the lighting.
Yep.
So that would be on this side here.
While the step is down, there we go. While the step is down, let's go look up. So there's the solar panel, and then a Rome, that's a 83 box?
Yes.
Yeah, 83 liter. I've got the 95s on Black Mamba over there. But the 83, if you still want to hopefully get into a garage, this is probably too tall to get into anything anyways, but the 83 is a lower profile versus the 95, which is much taller.
Yeah, I can make it into some garages, but there are times where I have to take this thing off if I want to get it out. But up here, you have the Prinsu rack. Everyone's seen these, I think, with the Prinsu handles. What I really like here is the integrated camp lights. That really helps out when I show up to shop.
I haven't done that with Prinsu. I've got the handles. Maybe we should do that. But you could take that off and paint that the same blue if you want. Continue the look outside.
And then this is just kind of the control panel. So, as you see here, right here, those are my roof lights. So those are on now.
Okay, yeah.
What I did want to do, because something...
Where's your wiring coming through for the top? Is it coming through here?
Yeah, so these are wired in sequence here. Okay. And then it's coming down this side right here, and then running back to the aux beam main controller under the hood.
Through the firewall.
Yep.
Okay.
But I only had to run one wire through the firewall, and that's the aux beam.
Because the 4 lights you have up there, well, don't you have
yep.
Okay. Got it.
I can pop that bad one on. That's from Diode Dynamics.
But isn't that another wire?
Yep.
A second. Okay, so you got 2 wires. One for the 4 camp lighting, and then your front bar.
Yeah. So the wires for the front bar are coming off the right side over there.
Okay.
And then they all feed into this nice little aux beam panel here. So this is the solar panel. Right underneath that, I have my aux beam panel. So my fuses are here. And what's really cool about this is if I blow a fuse, there's a light sequence here, so it'll tell me exactly, you know, what's blown.
Oh, nice.
And then what is also cool is this has an automatic shutoff here. So if it over voltage, under voltage, this will trigger, and it should not affect anything from the battery or from my main fuse box here.
I have an 8-panel aux beam in the box. I haven't used it yet, so I'm inspired now. I need to do it.
Yeah.
I have a Switch Pros, but it's like, what, double the price of aux beam doing the same thing. But Switch Pros is solid state. I don't know if this is solid state.
I'm not sure. No.
I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but that, yeah, I got to break mine out and do something at some point. No, it's a sweet ride. What's next? What would be your next thing that you would do to this?
So up next, I think we're gonna go steel front bumper, steel rear bumper, and some rock sliders. I've put this thing to work. Gotten some dings, some damage. So
yeah, it's you see a lot of people. They're like, oh, it's just a mall crawler, but you roll this. You go places and do stuff. So. I mean, especially when you got adaptive suspension like that, you want to go to Johnson Valley or, you know, cool trails out here in Southern California and just put it to the test. And
yeah, and the great thing
rip
about this
that
suspension is the faster you go, the better it gets. So you really push this truck to the limits whenever you get the chance to.
Faster you go, the better it gets. I like that. You got to come to Johnson Valley this year. We'll meet up there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'll have hopefully my 200 series with the stage 6 done by then and go rip through those whoops. Well, it's a sweet ride. I dig it.
Thank you.
You're going to start a YouTube channel, so anybody watching this, by the time you watch it, that channel might be up already, and it's going to be called
Bazzbuilds.
Bazzbuilds with 2 Z's. Bazzbuilds.
Yeah.
That's cool. Maybe you do Bazzbuilds, B-A-D-Z, Bazzbuilds, but Bazz, yeah, your last.
I keep it with Bazz because of the last name, you know.
Yeah, and then Instagram will be the same thing, Bazzbuilds.
Yeah.
So anybody who wants to follow this Tundra project, and I think Sage will go into more detail some of the stuff. Like we did a walk around touching upon everything, but he can go into more details. And you know, comment below if there's certain things you want to know about this rig, like what type of suspension surgery he had to do, and you know, the tour top, the solar panel, all that. But Sage, thank you for, you know, showing us your rig. I'm glad we got your tour top on, and yeah, everybody support his new channel and his Instagram. Especially if you're into a Tundra, you'll see all future developments that he's going to do on this rig. It's beautiful. I'm a Land Cruiser guy, but man, after seeing this, I might have to rock me a Tundra. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and happy trails. And yeah, stay tuned for more on this truck. Subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely subscribe to Sage's channel. All right, peace out.